Hello, guys, and welcome to this new episode of the EmpowHer Journey. Welcome, Clem. How are you?
Welcome. Hi, I'm great, and you?
I'm fine, thank you. So this is the EmpowHer Journey, your community to support your self-growth and live by your own rules. We are in June, and this month we wanted to talk about how to be your best friend, because this is a really important subject, and we are going to give you some tips to embrace your true self. So we chose the first question, and this is how to be your best friend. Why this is so important. We wanted to talk about that with Clem because being your best friend is one of the best tips you can learn in your life, because we are usually our worst critic. We are our worst enemy and our worst judge. So this is really important internally to learn how to be your best friend, to learn how to talk to yourself really gently and with benevolence, so you can really grow and get the support that you really need. So can you tell us everything about that, Clem?
Yeah, absolutely, definitely agree, and I think people can relate to that. What happens unconsciously, internally in your mind. It's so violent, isn't it? It's the way we talk to ourselves is just incredibly violent and unconscious. So the first step is probably, as you say, just to become aware of that, become aware of what's happening, so that you can change this system. It's yes, the worst critic, the worst judge. We would not probably treat our enemies as bad as we treat ourselves in our mind. So of course
that's true.
Yeah, we can't really see it. It's not something we show even. And that has so many impacts, as we can imagine, on how you feel, on your health, on your thoughts, on your level of energy. It's so draining. It's exhausting. It's negative. It's making you feel terrible about yourself. So it's so important to change that.
And we really wanted you to make you aware that sometimes it's not you alone talking to yourself, but you can put the critics on someone else. Maybe you're walking into the streets and you see some people laughing and you're like thinking, oh my God, they're laughing at me.
Yeah.
No, that's not true. This is your internal speak and thoughts, but you put them on someone else. So be careful to what you're thinking, but also what you're projecting on people. They are not laughing about you. They can just be laughing on something else. And this is really important to see this mirror effect that we can have. So sometimes we think that people are going to judge you, or they are going to think that you're a bad person, or but that's not true. This is your way of speaking to yourself, and that's what we want you to be aware of. It's not only your thought, but how you project on people as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And the great news is then you have some responsibility. You can do something about it, and you can gradually change that. And the cause of that, or maybe the root of this, is this limiting belief that there is something wrong with me. There is, I need to criticize. I need to find the thing that is wrong with me, so that I can improve, so that I can survive, so that I can get better. And this is a very, very judgmental and negative approach. And there's a necessity of shift of perspective. And the way when we prepare this episode together, the way you can maybe access that, or have an idea of how differently you could be doing, is imagining maybe the relationship you have with your best friend, or someone you're very close to, and it's very easy for you to be positive with. And when we think about, people that we admire, people that we love, such as our best friends, or, people close to us like that, then for in this case, it's so easy to have compassion, to be their cheerleader, to have empathy. It's if you think about that, if you think of a situation, like, I don't know, someone sharing with you some self-critic, you would be naturally going, this is not you, this is bullshit, this is not true. You are so...
Don't say that about yourself, yeah.
But for yourself, none of that happens.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's so one way for you to get a start to have a glimpse of that is to imagine this. Imagine a relationship, maybe with your best friend, or someone you admire, someone that inspires you, someone that you accept unconditionally, and then maybe as a mirror, maybe try to start applying this to yourself gradually and really changing this internal dialogue that's happening inside of you.
That's true. For me, there's another exercise that you can do as well that we've done with Clem together in some training. And this is to think about you as a kid. Because you don't want to hurt kids. You don't want to be mean to kids. You really want them to grow and to have some fun and feel loved and supported. So you may take a picture of yourself when you were a kid and put it on your desk, or just keep it in your mind and try to only think about you in this way, like a kid who had a life. So it was blessed on some part, and on the other part it was injured. Just support the kid that you still have inside of you, so you can make it grow with yourself. And if you do it like that, you won't be mean to you anymore. You can't be mean to you if you just see the kid. And if you can just do the same with people when you're angry with them, or when you're sad because they were mean to you or something like that, just imagine the kid that they still are. Because usually people, when they're mean, it's because they suffer. So just imagine the kid in themselves suffering, and be nice with them. Be nice with yourself and get this compassion, as you said, Claire, this compassion, this unconditional love that you should have to yourself, because that's how you grow. That's how you feel good.
Yeah. And it's so important. And I think we, in a lot of cases, maybe we undersee or underconsider the power of compassion, the power of empathy. And we completely forget to apply it to ourselves. Like whenever we hear about compassion, it's usually about others. And almost never, in sort of common life about you. What compassion can you apply to yourself now, today? And that really helps you to connect to this, like with the visualization that you mentioned, to who you truly are, to your spark, to your essence, to your strength and the beauty of your unique personality and unique flavor. Because we are, with the judgment, of course, we keep on comparing ourselves, don't we? We spend our time just going, I'm not good enough. I'm not as good as so-and-so. I should be better at this aspect or the other. So comparison is just killing this self-love constantly. While the empathy, the compassion is really showing you another way. Like, what if I love myself exactly how I am right now? And that's so freeing. Absolutely liberating.
I definitely agree.
So yeah, we talked about that together when we were preparing. We talked about how we forget as well to so we focus on the negative, right, of everything that we didn't accomplish right, or everything that we could get better at, we could improve, completely forgetting to celebrate as well, to be in the fun, to be in the joy, to be open, and to just also like celebrate even small wins, even very tiny things that you can be grateful for, because you'll be completely wearing those black glasses or those gray glasses, looking at everything that is wrong with us, wrong with the world, wrong with others, and that doesn't bring anything positive, actually. So that's really what we want to impulse, with this theme of being your best friend, because that's the way to access your highest version, the highest version of yourself. When you change this attitude, you're able to shift the instead of having a violent approach, but a loving, a positive, a nurturing, then miracles happen. Really, it is completely life-changing. And I think it's okay as well that, at some moments, maybe you're going to go back into, a little bit of critic or violent mode, but just keep coming back. Just keep going back and coming back.
True. It's like a flower. Imagine you're a flower. You want to bring some sun. You want to bring some water. You want to talk to it gently and softly. That's exactly the same. If you want to grow, if you want to sprout, just take care of yourself how you would take care of someone else or plants or
yeah. And it's funny how the empathy comes more easily when we think of someone else. So that's why the visualization of the child is very efficient as well, because it helps you to access that love and that natural instinct that you would have of being kind.
For someone else.
Like a flower.
And as you said, it's not because you go back to this old habit of talking shit to yourself and things like that. Just go back to the unconditional love. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to go back to the way you were, to better go in the unconditional love. That's a way for you to improve. As many times that you go back to unconditional love, it grows in yourself. So make mistakes. To it again and again and again and again until it's a reflex.
Exactly. So it's going to change gradually and become more and more permanent. But initially, don't get discouraged if that happens. If you're like, okay, I've caught myself again. That's normal. It takes a while to practice and to create a new habit, isn't it? It's really unconscious for most of the time. We don't even realize what we're doing to ourselves. So. So it takes a while to change that. That's so cool. So that explains what we mean about what do we mean by how can you be your best friend? What does that mean? We wanted also to touch on the why, understanding why that's important. Because maybe there's even you listening to us now, you may be thinking, well, it's good actually to do a bit of tough love and to be like, okay, no, you have to push yourself, no pain, no gain. It's good to suffer. I should suffer to get better. And you can hear the vocabulary, can't you? I should, I must, I have to. It's very violent, isn't it? And one of the strongest messages we wanted to come across with you was really, no, it doesn't work. No, you don't have to do that to get to the result that you want. It's even the opposite. It's going to be counterproductive. You're not going to get where you want to be if you keep this mechanism in place. If you keep those self-violent negative mechanism in place, this is going to sabotage you and keep on sabotaging you. Being pushed by negative, yes, you're going to achieve some results, but not as much as if you were really pulled by the positive, really aligned with all your mission, your passion, you're driven by, it's like a life force as well. While if you push people, and you can see even in companies, can't you, like in different management styles, the fear and the threat only works to an extent. It's only when teams can thrive that you get the biggest results as well. It's very clear when you study that.
That's true.
And it works. It's the same for you. It's the same for you, guys.
That's the true difference between an authoritarian boss and a leader. You want to be your own leader.
Yes.
So you really want to inspire yourself. You really want to, you want to create a team with yourself. That's what we want with the how to be your best friend. You want to create a team with yourself so you go further. There's no need for you to be mean to yourself. There's no need to treat you like you would treat someone you hate, for example. You were talking about sabotage and resistance, and that's the same when you're swimming in the sea. If you go on the wrong way, it's gonna be so hard on you, and you're gonna get tired and burned out. It's going to drain yourself, and that's that's not what you want. What you want is for you to have the flow. We talk a lot about the flow state, and that's what we want you to live in the flow, because that's so much easier to reach your goals, to feel happy, and to be yourself. So do not say I need to, I must to, I have to. Please say I want to, I would love to. This is another savor when you say that. I would love to do that. I saw a video on parenting recently, and the guy was like, you don't have to go and look for your kids. You don't have to make them a meal. You want to, you would love to. And that's love. That's love for yourself and for others. And that's so much more.
Absolutely. It's amazing. I love how you describe to team up with yourself, work with yourself, building on your strength, on what is great and what works for you. Stop, going against what works for you. Use what works for you. And I love the alternative that you propose. Instead of I should, I have to, I want to, I would love to. And I also like, I can. I can do this and that. I have the possibility, I have the capacity of doing this and this and that, and I'm choosing to, which is a very, very different approach. And the results are really, really different too. Absolutely.
Yeah, even when you say that, there's excitement. I want to, I can do it. That's exciting.
Yeah,
I have to. Not the same savor. Definitely not.
No. Absolutely. And then the mind shift, the mindset shift is just it's so incredible, and that has consequences on so many aspects, because when you start changing, so you're changing the relationship with yourself, and that also has an impact on relationship with others, hasn't it? Yeah,
definitely.
And that's something you were great talking about several times, Anna. To avoid toxic relationship, or even become aware of the toxic relationships that you can consciously be keeping in place.
Because everything starts with yourself. So the boundaries you can put with yourself. I will never talk to myself bad again. It's like a wall that you build, so people can't talk to yourself like that. Neither. If you let yourself be your enemy, you let everyone around you to be your enemy. You give permission to people to be mean to you. You give permission to people to treat you like you treat yourself. So the more you are nice to yourself, empathetic and compassionate, the more you can allow people to be that to yourself as well. So this is how you change your relationship with yourself. It's going to change the relationship with others. Or, as we were saying, sometimes they will go. But that's okay, because if they go out of your life, that means they weren't really necessary. So this is hard, because some people, we don't want to let them go because we think that we love them. We think that we need them in our life. But sometimes they are not good for us. Sometimes they are toxic. We talk a lot about toxic people, and some are. So the more you treat yourself well, the more they are going to change around you or live your life. But that's for the good. That's for the best.
Yeah. That's so true. The self-respect, the more you grow your own respect, your own love for yourself, the more then you're going to attract. And the outside is going to change as well with your relationship with others. And we can really see, I think, the difference, the two different modalities. Because if you're not in there and you keep on being so hard on yourself, that's so destructive. We talked about sabotage. What happens is that you drain yourself. That's how burnout and depression happens. And as well, sometimes getting things, being pushed by these violent voices, like I should and I must, etc. And you end up being successful, but maybe not having, achieved what you really wanted. So you're there, maybe having, I don't know, let's say financial success in something, but you're actually not, loving what you do at all. You're like, okay, don't know that I got there, and it doesn't feel good. It doesn't it's not giving me what I thought it would give me, because you've been following and doing things for the wrong reasons and in the wrong modality. So ultimately it didn't enable you to come closer to yourself, who you truly are. Maybe go for the right thing. So again, while you were thinking this is the only way to push myself to accomplish things, you actually again, it was counterproductive. You actually got to exactly what you didn't want.
That's true. When you go with the tough love, you create resistances everywhere, so it can't be working. And we're talking about financial success, but it works in every area. I can see that with love relationship as well, with friendship as well. Sometimes we really want, I need to stay in this relationship, I need to make it work because no one is going to love me again, or blah blah. This is bullshit. If you're not happy, if you don't feel right, please, it's okay to do something. It's okay to make it happen again, and you will find someone, you will find new friends. You are limitless, and please remember that you are limitless. You can, would love to, it's that's really important to just trust yourself. As we were saying, if you're your best friend, if you team up with yourself, you can have whatever you want and you will make it happen. So just trust yourself, love yourself, and you will have whatever you want. And as Clem, you were saying, I really love what you were saying about understanding what's behind your desire. It's true that I want success, I want money, I want love, blah, blah, blah. Sometimes it's something really different that's behind this. You want money for what? For freedom. So that's not money that you want, that's freedom. And that's really different. Sometimes you don't want this guy or this girl. You want to feel loved. And you can feel loved somewhere else, first with yourself. So really take the time, take stock about what you really want. Is it bringing you real joy, real happiness? Because you want the best for your best friend, so you want the best for yourself as well.
Yeah, having this clarity is amazing. And we also wanted to touch base on the fact that for some people hearing this might be like, wow, okay, but I wouldn't want to become someone selfish or someone arrogant and going, I love myself so much, like being just like, I don't know, narcissistic or completely like self-absorbed and looking down on others, you know, like I'm the best, and you're like just
I deserve money and love, and
and maybe having a fear of, you know, being in a dominant state, and I don't think anyone who's being arrogant is admired. We tend to not really like people who are too arrogant. And so we're afraid of like becoming sort of evil, while so that in a way these arguments like keep the self-violence into place. So they also part of that, you know, sabotage unconsciously of no, I need to be tough with myself because otherwise I might risk to become this horrible person. Well, it's completely a lie, because the more love you get internally, the more you're going to get outside, and the more you'll be able to give others too. So you'll be more respectful of others. You'll be more, you have more empathy, you have more compassion, you have more love. It's making you a better human, not only for you, but for others too. So it's completely the opposite of being selfish and arrogant and pretentious or things like that. But yeah, you might have those arguments in your mind going, are you sure?
And as we were saying when we were preparing this episode, it's the same with your goals and what you want in life. Because I'm a hyperachiever, so I like to have lots of goals and do things and blah, blah, blah. And I told in another episode, because of my mom's passing away, I wasn't able to do that anymore. And it was really hard on me to be this girl when it's to nap, to be this girl when it's to rest, and it's blah, blah, like to change all my habits, because I couldn't be the girl I was before. But now that I'm embracing all that, this empathy towards myself and this love towards myself, because I have to love myself with those flaws, because they were flaws when I started to be like that. It's so much better. I feel so much happier, rested. I have lots of joy because I don't have to think this much. I just embrace every moment, and that's amazing. And I still reach my goals. And that's really something I want to tell you.
Yeah.
Because when you go with the flow, when you go with yourself, and when you let go, when you surrender, you still get what you want. You still go for it because you are not drained. And I'm having fun doing things because I don't have to do things to get my goals. I want to do that. That's what we were saying. There's excitement now. I can follow the joy. I can follow my happiness, and I still reach my goals. So come on, guys. Please be nice with yourself. That's so important. You will go further this way. That's really, really important.
Absolutely. That is just as well. It's funny how then maybe you're more productive, you know, you need less time, so it frees time for you to do more self-care, be with your loved ones. It starts with something as simple as that. How do you talk to yourself? Changing how you talk to yourself. And we also connected this with the idea of positive communication, right?
Yeah, sure. So true.
So that's something that we hear quite a lot about, don't we, on different aspects. But you can actually starting by applying to how you talk to yourself, how the self-dialogue. And actually recently I was talking to a client that was realizing some of the harshness sometimes. She was catching that happening, like once, it was last week, I think, she dropped something on the floor and the voice in her head went, "You idiot, you stupid idiot." You know, for something just not serious at all, not a serious matter. And she was able to become aware of, like, my God, that's very harsh. I wouldn't have said that to anyone, you know, like, and yet I tell that to myself. So first being aware and really catching that when it happens and really replacing it by something else is gradually going to have such an amazing impact, right?
Yeah, sure. And what we wanted to tell about positive communication is also really understanding your needs, because the process with positive communication when you talk to someone is really to understand your need, to say it positively so the person can understand what you really mean and understand that it's not his fault, that you take the responsibility. This is my need. This is not your fault. So now I'm just explaining to you what is my need, and let's find a solution together. And you can do that with yourself as well. What is your need right now? Why do you feel angry? Why do you feel sad? Why do you feel frustrated or annoyed or anything? And just really understand that it's a compass. That's an amazing compass that you have. So understand the need. I remember Tony Robbins found 6 human needs, and I love those needs. They are variety and certainty, significance and love, growth and contribution. And those are 6 needs that we all have. So whatever we do in life, it's linked to one of these needs. When you understand that, I'm angry because my boyfriend, my girlfriend said that to me. What do you feel? I don't feel connected. Okay. So now you can say to yourself, I don't feel connected. I need to find some connection somewhere. And that's so amazing to do that, to really take stock of what you're feeling, what you're saying to yourself, and why. Why do you say that to yourself? She wasn't silly. She just made something fall on the floor. But maybe she wanted to be significant at this moment. Maybe she wanted to, I don't know. And that's what you have to ask yourself.
Exactly.
That's what you want to ask yourself so you can feel better in the future.
Yeah. And it makes such a difference, because so many times as well, when we have a feeling or an emotion coming to us, we were like, I shouldn't be like that. I shouldn't feel sadness or anger or I don't know, things like jealousy. We feel really bad. We blame ourselves for feeling those feelings. While if you're looking for, okay, what is that need then behind this feeling that is at this moment not feeling fulfilled, you know? it allows you to have those needs. You're like, it's allowed. I have a need for variety and certainty. I have a need for significance and love. I have a need for growth and contribution. Yes, you do. Yes, you deserve
Go
them.
for it.
Yes, you do. And that's going to help you grow and develop and etc. So acknowledging them is creating a completely different relationship with yourself, rather than, I hear so many things, when people talk about themselves. I'm so lazy. I'm so this. I'm so that. I'm so bad at. What are you good at? What are your beautiful needs that that needs to be acknowledged, and how can you find ways to fulfill those needs? This is the way you're gonna find your highest achievement. That's completely different. Yeah.
And as you said before, when you think about, I shouldn't feel angriness, I shouldn't anger, I shouldn't feel sadness, I shouldn't feel that. That's denial from yourself, and that's violence. That's, I shouldn't be the way I am. That's the same. You wouldn't say that to someone else because that's horrible. So please accept what's coming into yourself. Accept those emotions, accept your thoughts, even if you don't like them. Just accept them so you can change them. That's really, really important. And I know we wanted to talk about stop looking for others' approval.
Yes.
Because usually when we want something, sometimes it's not our true desire. Sometimes it's what our family wants, our friends want, or society wants. But that's not what you really want. So be careful about that. And you don't care about others' opinion. This is this is something that we have in our brain because it was survival when we were living a long time ago and everything. But we don't need that anymore. It's not because people don't like you that you're going to die. That doesn't happen anymore. So please just be yourself. That's so important. You don't care about what they think of you.
Absolutely. This is so crucial, and this is when you you respect, you love yourself more, you become yourself more. And I think there's this need also in all of us to the self-realization, what we call self-realization in coaching. I think it's really about that, becoming yourself more and more and more, which is sometimes reconnecting to the innocent child inside of you, because we were born in with this essence, and this is who you truly are. And it's easier to have access to that when we were a child, because for some people it's hard to know actually what they want. They're not sure what they want. They're not sure what they like, or if it's an influence from outside. So these games of judging and comparing is it's also this game of trying to be someone else that you're not, and really drop that as much as you can, and keep on playing with just owning who you are, owning with you who you are, because that's where the happiness is waiting for.
That's so true. Play with enthusiasm, play with joy. What will give me joy right now? What's exciting me right now? Why do I want to wake up in the morning? That's so much better question. So the third question we wanted to talk about is how to embrace who you truly are. So we gave you some tips during this episode, but we really wanted to give you more right now. The first one was to do some visualization with the child that you were. This is a great exercise. Just sit down, relax, and think of you when you were smaller, like when you were a kid. Could be 4 years old, it could be 6, 7, 8, and you can do it as teen as well. Like you do it first with the kid, and you can do it later with the 12, 14 years old that you were. And connect with this child. Just love the child. You can hug the child, you can laugh with the child, you can play with the child, do whatever, as long as it makes you feel good. Sometimes you need to forgive the child. There's lots of different emotion that will happen, but at the end, just forgive and love the child. That's so important. Do you have any more tips on the visualization?
Yeah, I completely agree with you. What's something funny is coming to me thinking about all this is when you're a child, you're a kid, and people ask you all the time, what do you want to be when you grow up? What do you want to do when you grow up? And I'm like, of course, a child can't answer that question because a child is not living in the future. So, I mean, a question that's a lot more interesting, I think, to ask yourself is, what do I want to do now? As you said, what brings me joy now? What sets my soul on fire? What do I, get lost in, and I can forget the notion of time in what I do, what I do now, what I want to explore or keep doing. That's also another way to keep accessing this, this innocence and this this true you, this beyond the shoulds and the must, as we said, connected to this idea of going back to the child in you, following the joy and what's sets you.
Yeah, sure.
Great way.
And as this child, you can see they're crying for 10 minutes, and after it's okay, and they move, they move on, and they're happy again. So get this innocence of the child. That's really, really important.
Sure. Yeah, connecting with this is amazing. The one of the other points in the second was the gratitude. So the gratitude and training yourself to finding what you can be grateful for is amazing, as we said, to avoid focusing on the negative and avoid focusing on what is wrong, what could be better. And I mean, we're so good at doing that, aren't we? Like, we always see the room for improvement. We always see, okay, I did all right with this, but I could have done better with this and this and that. Oh, right, okay. And then you miss on the celebration. You miss on the celebration of what was great that you did. You miss on the joy and the savor of the beauty of simple things, the joy in the simple things. So really celebrating your wins, and this you can do weekly. Actually, I would recommend to do that weekly. Maybe reflect on the Friday, looking at your week. What was amazing? What did I achieve this week? What was I amazing of doing?
Yeah,
and using those words, like go ambitious. Like, what was I amazing at this week? Oh, maybe I was amazing at cheering up a friend. It doesn't have to be the world record of I don't know, running or anything like that. That's not the joys of life. There are so much joys of life in little things.
Just just to balance this, sometimes it can be, I was amazing at resting. I was amazing at going on walks to love my body. I was amazing at eating healthy. It doesn't have to be like, still in this society, like you need to be the best and blah, blah, blah. It can be, I was the best with myself.
Yes.
I loved myself when I went in a jacuzzi or at a spa, or I loved myself when I said no to a party because I was tired. That's really important. All the wins are for yourself. That's because you are happy for yourself and proud of yourself.
Yeah, that's a great reminder. Thanks for saying that. Because maybe when we think of wins, we're thinking of what's the improvement on the benefits and what numbers and figures and percentage. And really change as well. Maybe your way of seeing your wins and your and things that you can celebrate. And maybe it's celebrating that this week I'm a little bit less tired and I went to bed earlier or things like that. Good conversation, good quality time with my kids or things like that. That's a win. That's definitely a win. So take your time to really savor them, every week or maybe even daily, to have this this was amazing, and I'm bringing back again to me. It's like immersing yourself in a way in a little bit of a bath of bringing that back with you so you can enjoy the energy of that.
That's so true. Another way that we had when we prepared, we were like amazed, that's not the right word, but amazed in the negative and how some people doesn't ask themselves some questions like, am I happy? Does the life I'm living is nurturing me? Does the life I'm living in is the one I want? And that's, for us coaches, really important to ask ourselves and yourself the question, like, are you happy? We can't be happy all the time. That's not something that works, but we should be able to be excited about your life. We should be able to wake up in the morning, as I said, and be happy about the day that will happen. And that's so important for you to ask yourself this question, how to be yourself. What do you want in life? What makes you happy? As we said, the compass of joy, the compass of excitement is really important. Like a kid. A kid wants to eat, he's going into the fridge to eat. A kid wants to go out and play with his friends, he's going out and playing with his friends, you know? So find this, we always think that society doesn't want us to be like that. No, I need to work, I need to pay my bill, and I did. That's not true. If we want to find some other answers, we need to ask ourselves the right question. So yes, you have to pay your bill, but how can you pay your bill with joy? How can you pay your bill with excitement? Because you can change your job, for example. I want to feel loved. Okay, my boyfriend isn't loving anymore or loving enough for me, so you can change as well. You can do whatever you want. So ask yourself good question. That's really, really important for you to be happy and to grow.
Yeah, absolutely. The clarity is so important. And again, this way as well, you're able to see more of your strengths, more of what you need and what works for you. So work with these things, you know, rather than being, I should be. There are so many trends on there at the moment. You can look at trends in dieting, trends that you should sleep less, you should sleep more, you should get up at 4 in the morning and exercise, or you should, etc., etc. There's so more of the shoulds, so many of the shoulds. While you're the only one that actually knows what works for you. And there aren't any rules, you know. There aren't, I really don't believe, like, of course, it can be interesting to study personality types and things like that. But I believe that at the end of the day, only you knows in detail what is supporting you. So play with those and bring more of these into your life, really supporting your daily routine is what really also brings that balance to you, by instead of trying to push against something that's not you, but really nurturing and going with, you know, like it's like something we were saying as well when we were preparing the episode, like stop punishing yourself. Stop punishing yourself and go with supporting yourself. And that's daily, that's every day. And I'm not saying that to say go and eat that cake because that's not healthy for you, but really what is the environment, what is the routine, what is the habits that are going to really bring the best out of you. That's okay, you know, you're okay no matter how you are, you're okay as you are. So accepting and owning and welcoming all those strengths is so amazing, makes such a big difference.
About the cake, talking about the cake, what's behind why you want the cake? Because usually this is emotional eating. I used to be that way. So emotional eating. Why do I want to open the fridge? Because I'm bored, because I want to feel loved, because always look for what's behind. As we say, like maybe in every episode, because that's really important. Welcome the emotions, welcome your dreams, welcome your thoughts, welcome everything, because they are trying to tell you something. So take the time to know what they are telling you. I want this cake, but I'm already full. I know I'm full. My stomach is really, really full, and I still want the cake, and I want the whole cake. Okay, that's something else. That's not the cake that you want. That's something else. So take the time every time to know what's behind everything that you think and that you dream, behind your desire, behind. You can have whatever you want. So take the time to choose the right thing. I love when you say that, Clem. Take the time to choose. Don't let the others choose for you. Don't let society choose for you. Don't let your family, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, anyone choose for you. You are the one responsible. You are the one with the heart, with the brain, who can decide what you want. Take the time to really know, to have the clarity.
Yeah.
On what you want.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love this example of the cake, because as you say, it's not for the cake. Eating that cake is not going to get to you the love or the sense of meaning or whatever that is really that needs to be fulfilled. And being aware of that and being clear is actually so helpful, because not only will you then be able not to eat the cake, and that's going to be healthier for you, but then also can you actually truly fulfill that need and be like, okay, maybe I need to feel more, something more meaningful in my life, or more contribution, or going back to the idea of the six needs. Okay, all right, that's not the way I'm going to do it. How can I do it? How can I do that? So it makes such a big difference. And maybe one of the last little tips that we can share with you would be to also use some of the coaching tools that are available out there. So as coaches, we really enjoy working with them. So for me, for example, I love working with the Ikigai model, which is a Japanese diagram, part of a larger philosophy, actually, of well-being, of finding balance, of feeling integrated. And that's a great way to explore different areas, and that takes you on a beautiful journey, actually, and that gets you closer, I really believe, to who you truly are, getting clearer on your needs for yourself, not for others. And we talked about the wheel of life, didn't we, as well?
Yeah, I like the wheel of life as well, because what we were saying is that when you are yourself, when you truly are yourself, you can find your right place in the world. You can be where and with the people you belong. So that's really important. What I really like with the wheel of life is that you do a diagram as well, and you put a notation on the, what a notation?
A mark?
You put a number out of 10 on how happy you are in every area of your life, like love life, friendship, money, work, hobbies. And it can also be health. How do I feel with myself? Do I love myself? And everything else. So you choose. And then you see where you're happy. So that's okay. But when you're not happy. So you can decide of one goal or one improvement per area. If you're already really happy in your love relationship, for example, you can decide a goal on how to stay that way. So I want to still continue to have the Friday night date with my boyfriend or girlfriend, because this is what really makes the relationship interesting. If on money you don't have a great number, how can you improve that? Still based on your strengths. How can I improve the money I'm earning? I'm great in, art craft, so maybe I can sell some. I'm great with my job, so maybe I can ask for a promotion. And that's really how you can improve every area of your life, because as we say with Clem, really often, what's really important is for you to find balance. Balance is really, really, really important. So Ikigai is how to find yourself in the world and how to show your strengths and everything. And Wheel of Life can help you to find the balance that you need to really be happy and well in your life.
Absolutely. And it's so amazing, as exactly as you described. Like, the more you're going in a journey of finding yourself, and the more you feel connected with others, the more you feel you have a place, you belong, you are welcome in this world. So it's the way, actually. It's a bit of a paradox, but it's the way to access that the sense of belonging. It starts with you. It starts internally.
That's very true.
So let's move on to our last section about tips to your younger self. So, and if you could go back in time and talk to your younger self, what would you like to say?
I think I would love to emphasize on be honest with myself, with being honest with myself, because I feel like I've been lost in doing things I thought people wanted me to be, to do. And I wasn't happy because of that. And that's really when I started to open myself to myself. That I really started to feel well about myself, to be happy with myself and with my life. So being honest with yourself, like a best friend would be, without feeling judged or criticized or anything, is really important. The same with accepting your true desires, because sometimes, as we said, they are not your desires. You need to find your true ones and be okay with them and go for it. Because if you go for it, you will have an amazing life, and that's all I wish for you.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's amazing. So cool.
So and what about you? What would be your tip?
So me, I would really mention something we talked about quite early on in the episode today. It's really treat yourself like you treat others, because historically, for me, it was easy to be gentle, to be compassionate, to be loving with others, and to be respectful, and that came very, very naturally. But I didn't have a clue that I could do that with myself, and I don't think I was aware of exactly how I was treating myself. So really, if I could go back in time and help myself see how I could apply that, like a mirror effect to the way I talk about myself, I talk to myself, and the relationship I have, the image as well, my self-esteem, it would make a big difference. It would be very, very helpful.
Yeah. We are our best love relationship in the end.
Well, yeah, that's what we grow. Yeah, I believe that, absolutely. So cool. Beautiful.
Okay, so thank you very much, guys, for listening to us today. We hope that we gave you some great tips and that you will apply whatever works for you, because that's really important that you stay true to yourself. And that was the aim of this episode. So thank you very much, Clem. I wish you a lovely day today. And please, if you have any question, any theme that you want us to talk about, or whatever you want, send us an email at theempowherjourney@gmail.com. Have a lovely day and see you soon.
Thank you,
guys.
Bye, guys. Bye.